afternoon. How are you? Good. My name is Quảng, also known as Dr. Ho, just simple. I got my PhD in psychology, but I am just a visitor monk from Louisiana. Just happened to visit some of my best friends, as is Reverend TX-Thầy, the person who sits outside. You can call TX-Thầy. He the head monk of Compassion Temple. I knew him since I moved to this country in 1994. Luckily, we born to each other quite well. He used to live in Los Angeles about 9 years, and then he moved to Dallas, and then Plano, and he started building this wonderful Buddhist temple since 2012. I have a great opportunity to join in the inauguration ceremony on September 2013, right? 2017. And besides that, Reverend Wilson, he also lived in this temple, and he also a teacher at some high school in the local area. You can ask him about that. I have a great opportunity to share some of the information about Buddhism in the last two groups from your school also, right? But I have to head back to Louisiana soon, so I asked Reverend Yagno and Reverend Wilson allow me to spend 15-20 minutes with all of you, then I say see you again. Okay? I don't want to say goodbye. I want to say see you again. Okay? There are so many things, so many very valuable lessons from Buddhism we can share. I say this, it's just not because I'm a Buddhist monk, so I love Buddhism. No. I try my best to be aware of my personal bias. I say this based on my professional experience. Have been in this country 28 years. I used to live in Houston, Texas, 4.5 years. Whole my family is still in Houston, Texas. Moved to Atlanta from 1998 to 2002 for my master's, for my BS in psychology. I came to this country in 1994 when I was 26 years old already, without English. So please accept my Vietnamese accent. That's the first thing you do, right? First thing we also learn from Buddhism, that is accept who you are. How tall you are, that's about you. How much you weigh, that's about you. What color of your skin, that's who you are. Some people, they have problem with accepting who they are. I feel very fortunate to learn the teaching of love, compassion from the Buddha, so that I love myself. I know all of you sitting here, your hair is longer than my hair, but somehow I still love my hair. Every morning I look at the mirror, I look at myself through the mirror and say, love your hair more. And the reason you may ask, why monk or nun we shave our hair? Very simple. Save money. I don't spend any cent to buy any shampoo. Just kidding. The main reason all Buddhist monks and nuns shave their hair just purposely to remind ourselves, do not attack anything in this life. Do not attack anything. Because the more we attack, the more we create suffering. Think about that. Because when we attack something, we try to clean up that. Right? How many of you have boyfriend or girlfriend already? Please close your eyes and raise your hands. I know some of you are not willing to raise hands. It's okay. When you love someone, and someday the condition of living will change unexpectedly, you have to separate from that person. Are you happy or not? How many of you said, I'm very happy because I just break up from my girlfriend? Please raise your hands. Not really. So, shaving our head is remind myself, ourselves, that is, we love everyone, we love what we have, but at the same time, we learn how to let it go. Right? This is the good thing I learned from the teaching of the Buddha. Two sides of the suffering people always experience in life, regardless you come from rich family, poor family, where you live, you always run into these situations. First, separation from the person who you love. Right? By any means. Because someday you may experience separation, say goodbye to your grandparents, to your parents, to your beloved family members. That is very hard to let it go, right? Being a monk, I perform hundreds funeral services, and it's really hard to see the people struggling with their grief, with their emotional attachment. So, shaving my head, I remind myself to not attack anything. Right? In this beautiful temple, yes, I love this temple, but in the next 10 minutes, when I have to say, see you again, Reverend Yagno, see you again, Reverend Wilson, I have to focus on myself, right? I should not attack too much into this beautiful temple and then I cry and I cannot leave. That's the one form of suffering. Another form of the suffering. That is, you have to live with someone you dislike or you hate. Being a monk, I don't want to say hating, but I say highly dislike. Respectfully dislike someone. How many of you have some issue with your family members or friends sometime? Yeah? If someone say, I never ever had any issue, problem with my parents, with my siblings, with my friends, you can point the finger to that person and say, you are the big liar. Right? When you graduate from high school, graduate from college, someday soon, you go to work, you have to deal with all types of personalities in your workplace or even right now. Right? So learn how to let it go. Okay, this is a tip for you in terms of how to deal with the person you dislike and you have to live with him or her. Right? Even sitting here, I hope all of you love each other. If someday you have some issue with someone, this is my advice. The Buddha taught, I love this. What's your name? Charlie? Beautiful name. Suppose, if I dislike Charlie hair. Suppose, okay? Because his hair longer than my hair, so I get jealous easily. If I am a good Buddhist practitioner, I should not focus on Charlie hair. I should focus on his ears. I should pay attention on his nose, something like that. But in reality, people, they always focus on the wrong thing. What's your name? Elizabeth. I love that. Elizabeth Taylor, I love that. For example, if someone you have some issue with Elizabeth, let's say you dislike her speech or her language. Being a Buddhist practitioner, I should not allow myself to focus on her language, but I focus on her action. Because in life, sometimes someone, they don't know how to conduct lovely speech, compassionate speech, but his or her action is excellent. Right? How you do sometimes you see your daddy or mommy say some ugly language, but their action is full of love, compassion, and take care of you for many years. Right? I had that experience, especially in Vietnamese culture 50 years ago. It's very hard to communicate with my dad. Always just receive the order from my dad. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Go back to your room, so and so. So, when you're not happy with someone because of his or her speech, please focus on the action. If you're not happy with his or her action speech, what should you do? I dislike Elizabeth, not only her language, but also her action and also her physical appearance. Sometimes it's making me get nervous. What should I do? Avoid it. Well, avoidance technique in psychology we use for many years. Nothing wrong with that. But being a Buddhist practitioner, we don't apply that technique in daily life. What if you live with your parents and you dislike your parents' speech and action? What should you do? Avoid it? Oh. Fair enough, right? We, instead of to focus on Elizabeth's weaknesses, including thought, including action and speech, I may create the thought of love, compassion by thinking about, oh, Elizabeth, her physical appearance, I dislike her speech, her action, but probably sometime she may have a wonderful thought about me, but she may not know how to express that thought yet. Right? So I focus on positive about Elizabeth. But this is challenging for all of you. What if I dislike Elizabeth? Sorry, I call your name today out loud. I dislike Elizabeth, including physical appearance, language, action, and even thought, all negative thought. What should I do? What should we do? In this situation, a little bit extreme. Buddha taught, if someone, he or she, operate negative behavior, action, speech, and thought, that person, definitely, he or she not happy with their life. Am I right? Because happy people never ever say something negative. True happy people conduct positive action behavior, right? We live in society right now. We see many people who have psychological disorders, psychological issues. Please do not expect them to conduct kind and nice behavior all the time. That's unrealistic expectation. How many of you have a chance to visit some patient in the mental hospital? No? I had a chance to visit the Angola prison in Louisiana many times. That's the biggest, some of the biggest prison in the country. And of course, all people in that prison, they was not happy with their life. That's why they ended up in the wrong place. Right? So we should have more compassion for the people who are not happy with their life. I know most of us, we have a strong habit to focus on the negative, easier rather than focus on the positive. Nothing wrong with that. However, we should be aware of our weaknesses. From an evolution perspective, somehow our brain register, remember negative information much better than positive information. Right? Think about when you interact with someone, you remember his or her negative behavior, action easier. Right? 9 out of 10, Elizabeth very kind and nice to me, but sometime today, she cannot show her love and compassion, then I remember that story. So learning about Buddhism, for me, is basically learning about yourself. Nothing else. And in Buddhism, we encourage everyone, please love yourself, take care of yourself, because each of you have huge potential within. Each of you have potential to become anything you like. The Buddha taught. What you think, that's who you are. I came to this country in 1994 without English, but this is my experience. I believe if typical American students spend 4 years to finish his or her degree in any college or university, being the new refugee without English, I will finish my BS in psychology not within 4 years, but within 10 years. That's my reasonable expectation. But luckily, I finished within 5 years. And I say, if they can, someone in this country, they can continue to get higher education, 2 years to finish one master degree, typically, I think 3 years I can finish. Luckily, a little more than 2 years, I finished my master degree in counseling. And I said, that's enough. But later on, I said, well, some people in this country, they continue to get higher education. And I have to confess in front of all of you, I love knowledge. Even now, I want to have a chance to get back to school and learn more. Somehow, I'm hungry for knowledge. So 2010, I got back one more time and promised to continue to get higher education. And 2018, I finished my PhD in psychology. My message is not about show off my knowledge to all of you, no. My intention to send this message to all of you. Remember this, you are so lucky to live in the society, in the country where you have so many opportunities to make your life better. Please do not throw away your future. Okay? You have so many opportunities compared to many people. We came from Vietnam, we know that. I visited India 2004 with Reverend Giảng also. We witnessed how poor people over there. I visited several countries in Europe. I visited Rwanda 2009 on behalf of American Counseling Association. So I know how talented people who was born or grew up in Rwanda. They don't have a wonderful opportunity like all of us. Then, back to the reality, as I promised, I just finished with you about 20 minutes, now 24 minutes already. So, I want to say thank you so much for Reverend Giảng, Reverend Wilson, allow me to share some basic knowledge about Buddhism. And if you have any quick question, I may take 1 or 2 quick questions, then allow me to transfer responsibility to these wonderful monks. Thank you. Okay, quick question, please.
Could you explain the statue behind it?
Huh?
Could you explain the statue behind it?
Oh, this, wow. This we call, this is easy question, okay? Third question, I refer to him. This we call happy Buddha status. And you see happy Buddha status always have a big stomach, right? Please do not misinterpretation. The more you eat, you make yourself to be a happy person. No. Big stomach, it stands for high tolerance. The more you accept, I said at the beginning, the more you accept the difference, the more you are happier. Make sense? So being a happy Buddha is means he learned how to tolerate everything in his life. Right? We are struggling because I sit close to Charlie. Right? Charlie. If I standing close to Charlie, because I like him, so I'm happy. Right? But if I get close to Austin, I'm not happy because I dislike Austin. That means I limit myself, right? But if I learn how to accept Charlie, Austin, especially Elizabeth, then I'm happy. Wherever I go, I'm happy. So that is the main basic meaning of happy Buddha. Good question. So from now, I expect you to be happy all the time. You know why we love baby more than elderly? When we look at the face of the baby, simple. Baby smile average 400 times per day. Adult, especially college student or high school student, sometimes cannot smile because we worry so much. That's not good. Okay, that's all, right? That's enough, okay? So please allow me to return responsibility to Reverend Yang Lo.